Albert and Becky are planning to participate in a science fair. They go to the library to find a topic that can impress everyone, but they can't decide on the topic and ends up spending a lot of time in the library.
They try to think of ideas while they find the book on the shelf that looks very dusty. They took the book off from the shelf and opened it slowly. They noticed very bright light coming out from it, and they didn't notice themselves getting sucked up into the book.
When they woke up, they realized that there was a teacher in a classroom just like theirs and some kids that were listening. "Now pay attention to your experiment," the teacher said.
It didn't take long for them to discover that they had turned into solid ice cubes. And they also noticed that they were in some kind of glass container and that hot air was coming from below them. A few minutes later, they started to melt. They could see that they were slowly melting away as the amount of water increased, and the heat stayed the same. Soon they saw that there was only liquid left in the container, and steam was coming out from the top of the container. Small droplets of water started to form on the sides. Then they heard the teacher talk. The solid phase, liquid phase, and the gas phase all belongs to the phases of matter. For a solid, the molecules would be very packed together, and the molecules only have a little space, so they can only vibrate. But for liquids, they have a little more space, and they can move around each other slightly. And for the gas phase, the molecules have a lot of space to move around, so they can move around freely. The intermolecular distance is the distance between particles. For a solid, the intermolecular distance is very small, and for liquids, the intermolecular distance is a little bit more than a solid. For the gas phase, the intermolecular distance is very large. As you can see on this diagram, the solid phase has a definite shape and a definite volume that will not change. For the liquid phase, there is no definite shape because the water can move around anywhere, and there would be definite volume because the amount of water stays the same. For the gas phase, there's no definite shape and no definite volume. We can change the states of matter by adding or subtracting heat. Matter can change state based on the amount of energy available to its molecules. If we add heat from a solid, it would become a liquid, and if we add more heat, it would become gas. Let's use water for an example. The solid phase of water would be ice. The liquid phase would be H2O or the water. The gas phase would be steam or vapor. These are some vocabulary words that you will need to know. Solid to liquid, or adding heat, is called melting. Changing liquid to solid, or taking away heat in that case, is called freezing or solidification. Changing liquid to gas by adding heat is called evaporation. Changing gas to liquid is condensation. The temperature at which a liquid changes into a gas is called its boiling point. And the temperature at which a solid changes into a liquid is called its melting point. And the temperature at which a liquid changes into a solid is called its freezing point. As they were listening to the teacher, they noticed that they were back in the library and the book was exactly where it was from before. "Let's study about the states of matter for a science project," Albert said. They both agreed, and prepared their project.